So here we have today 8 different situations lined up and we will solve it one by one. As we know that as an Excel user, if you are creating a normal report or financial models or dashboard reporting, conditional formatting is an area which an Excel user should learn about because it helps you to highlight certain cells or the data with respect to your conditions you define here in this feature. So in today's video, I will be covering 8 different situations and I hope that it will give you some good learning and knowledge. And after the video, you will be applying in your normal routine spreadsheets. So let's begin with the first scenario. In the first scenario, we have 3 different columns: salesperson, customer, and sales. And we are required to highlight top 4 salesperson. So it is very easy. For example, if we just want to quickly highlight 4 top salesperson within a sales column, the first step is always very important, and that step is you have to select that range or area in which you want to apply the conditional formatting. So I have selected the sales column and then I will go to conditional formatting which is available on the home tab. And then I will go to top bottom rules. That is the second category of this conditional formatting. And here you will find an option that is called top 10 items. You have more options of it. Regarding this, top bottom rules depend on the situation you are having. So in this situation we will be highlighting top 4 salesperson. So I will click on this option and instead of 10, I will just write 4 here. So whatever your condition is, you can set the number here appropriately and then you can also select the relevant color which you want. If any color which is not available in this drop down list, what you can do is click on custom format and you can select more colors from here in this fill tab also, right? So I will just select a color that is green filled with dark green text and I will press OK. So I can see that I have quickly highlighted top 4 salesperson from this respective data. Now, what if that I just don't want to highlight the particular sales cells, but also want to highlight that entire row, the name of such salesperson, customers, and the sales. So I need to highlight this entire row. Okay. Now for doing that, you are required to create a formula. So let's do it. First, I will create the formatting of conditional formatting from the sales first column. For doing that, again, you will select the column and click on conditional formatting. And here on clear rules, click on clear rules from the selected data, selected cell. Now, what we are required to do is we need to highlight the entire row instead of just one CS cell, right? So first I will select the entire data, excluding the headers, and we are not required to select the headers. So we will just select this entire data set and then I will go to conditional formatting and here from this menu I will select new rule. So we are required to create a formula and let me write a formula first. So we are required to highlight top 4 salesperson, right? So starting from the first cell, which is the sales of Yogesh, the data is starting from the Yogesh, which is row number 5. So it's T5. We are saying that should be greater than equals to large and we will select the entire column of sales, comma 4. Why? For here, because we need to basically get top 4 salesperson. And this specific formula is basically row by row checking the numbers of a sales. And if it falls within top 4, the condition will met and whatever we will set the formatting here, that will be applied on the entire row. So now you can see that with the help of this formula, which we created, is highlighting the top 4 salesperson. So remember that if you are familiar with the large function and this mix referencing, you will be easily understood that what this logic is all about. It's basically searching each value and then if that value falls within top 4, the condition is met and the color is applied, right? So this was the first situation we did. Now let's move towards the second situation. The second situation of the conditional formatting states that we are required to highlight all those sales which are above average. So first, let's calculate the average equals to average, and we will have the average of sales column, and it says 11,460. So whatever the sales which is above 11,460 will get highlighted. So we have already built in the rule available in conditional formatting. First, we will select a column of sales, conditional formatting, which is available on Home tab. And here we have in the top bottom rules, we have a category that is called above average. So I will click on above average and I will select the relevant color which I required. Now you can see that all the cells which are highlighted are above this average number because we have applied the criteria of above average, right? But what if we want to highlight the entire row instead of just one cell? So again, we are required to create a logic. And if we are good users in Excel, if we can create some logics, we are familiar with some functions, so we will be easily applying the new rules in the conditional formatting, right? So for doing that, first I will select the entire range because I need to select the data first, and then I will go to conditional formatting and then new rule. And the rule which we will be writing here is that the logic we will be creating here will work like that. All the salesperson who have produced the sales of above average, which is the 11,460, will get highlighted. So for doing that, we start from this first sales amount, which is of Yogesh from the row number 5, which is E5. So we are saying that if E5 is greater than average of entire sales column, so if this logical test gets successful, whatever we will be applying in the formatting area gets highlighted. So now you can see that very easily. All the salesperson in entire row gets highlighted. Those salesperson who are above average. Let me just show you the formula here, right? So this is a simple logic. As a basic Excel user, we need to understand how this formula works, right? All right. Next, the third situation. This is very interesting situation. Color scale based on sales. So sometimes you want to get highlighted all the sales, but on some patterns. For example, you want the highest sales to be highlighted with the dark colors, or lowest sales should be highlighted with the light colors, or the vice versa. In those kind of situations, you apply a criteria of color scales available in conditional formatting. So what you can do is select the sales column, go to the conditional formatting, and here you will find different kind of patterns of color scales. And if you want to develop your own, so you can click on more rows, and then from here you can select the color scheme. For the lowest value, for example, we are selecting the light color, and for the highest value here we are selecting the dark color. So once you are done with the settings here, you can click on OK. Now you can see that 21,000 has been highlighted because it is the highest number in the entire column, and 4,000 is being very light highlighted because it is the lowest number. So quickly your eyes can get a visual impact, and you can analyze data quickly with the help of conditional formatting by these kind of patterns. Next, the fourth situation is how to work with the icon sets. So this is again very interesting. For example, if I add one more column here, and if I do calculation, if I want to apply a formula and I want to drive sales per customer, so it is very easy. Total sales divided by number of customers will give you a sales per customer, right? And on these sales per customer, we are required to analyze the data that who are going who are doing good sales, or the lowest sales. So I will just select the column, right? And I will go to the icon sets and I will click on shapes. So I can see that the barber has done a very remarkable job in terms of sales per customer. His sales per customer is very good, whereas more people are not doing better performance in terms of sales per customer, right? And what if I don't want these numbers to be written here? I need simply to make them invisible. So that's very easy. Again, we will go to conditional formatting, and now this time you will click on manage rules, and here you will click on edit rule. And within this editing added for formatting rule window, you will find an option that is called show icons only. So you have to check mark enable that feature and press OK. So now you can see that I can search by conditional formatting, and moreover you can just turn off the grid lines to make it more better, right? So this is how we can analyze data by applying conditional formatting's icon sets. So this was the fourth situation. Let's come to the fifth situation of our today's video. Now here is the data sets. Here is this data set which we have 5 different columns. First as products, okay. Then we have this month says, which means current months. Last one says previous months. Then we have calculated variance. So it is easy to calculate a variance current month minus previous month. And then we have calculated variance in percentage. So current month minus previous one divided by previous month will give you a variance in percentage, right? So once you apply it, make sure that you have also corrected the percentages by going to Home tab and click on percent sign. Right now here, we will be applying icon sets, and I will give you one more handy trick to handle that kind of icon sets easily for with respect to positive and negative numbers. Now, as you can see that whatever we calculate a variance, that is from actual versus budgeted actual versus forecast, current month minus previous month, the variance either comes in positive or negative, or in very less chance to come exactly zero. But variance comes in either positive or negative, right? So we are required to have only two kind of arrows in our this variance column. The first one would be red for the negative variance, and the second one would be green arrow for the positive variance. So let me select the variance column first, and I will go to conditional formatting, and then I will go to the icon search category. And from the first category, that is the directional, which have three rows, green, yellow, and red. So when I click on it, as you can see now, in some of the positive variants that show me a green arrow upwards, but in some of the positive variants or negative variants, it's also showing me a yellow arrow. Now that yellow is not relevant here because either the variance is positive or negative, and we just want to eliminate the yellow arrow, and we just want green or red. Now for doing that, we have already applied the formula here. We have already applied the conditional formatting here. So I will just select the column. I will go to conditional formatting again, and I will click on manage rules, and then I will click on edit rules. So as you can see that in the type on the right side, in this type, this is a default. It's percent selected here by default. So instead of percent from this drop down menu, we are required to change it into a number. And once we change from percentage to number, so now we are getting a relevant color arrows with respect to the variance numbers. So with the positive variance, we are getting green arrows upward, and with the negative variance, as you can see that we are getting the red arrows downwards. And this goes similar with the percentage as well. So if, for example, you apply the icon sets, you again get the yellow arrows which are not relevant. So you will go to manage rules, add the tools, and then instead of percent, click on number so that it should read correctly, right? And I have also told you that If you don't want to see the data in the column, you can also go to again manage rules and click on show icons only, so that only the conditional formatting icons should be visible, right? And this could be very handy when you go with the financial models and dashboard reporting. So conditional formatting is an excellent, important tool to be learned by the Excel users. Now let us go to the sixth situation of our video, and here we have again some columns. We have different products, right? We have current month's numbers, we have last month's numbers, and I have also copied and pasted these two columns again here. And let me show you some track about the data bars. So for example, if I just select this month column and I go to conditional formatting, and this time we are exploring the data bars category within the conditional formatting. So if I open the data bars and if I select any good color of my choice, for example, green solid fill, so you can see that how data bars is working within the conditional formatting. It actually fits the cell with that respective color according to the number available within the cell, right? And we have just selected the first column. So 7069 is the highest number within that column. So this cell is entirely highlighted. And according to this concept, the other numbers have get their respective highlight with respect to the highest number in that particular column. Okay. So for example, if I change the numbers to 15,000, so you can see that with respect to this highest number, all other cells are adjusting themselves with in terms of allocation of the colors within the cell. So whatever the number is, this is dynamic. That will be definitely change. Now let me select the last one's column again, and I will go to data bars and I will select on solid fill, right? So now you can see that 10,000 is entirely highlighted as 100%. And based on the numbers available in this particular column, the color has been allocated themselves. So if I change any number later on, so you can see that the condition formatting will get updated. Now, what is the difference here? What can be very tricky here when you apply this on dashboards? Now, in this particular situation, first I selected the current month and applied the data vars, and then I selected the last one and then applied the data vars. But what if in case I select these two columns together, and if I go to conditional formatting and then solid fill, now you can see the difference here. In the first data set, 7069 is entirely highlighted, but in the second data set, 7069 is not entirely highlighted, because in this situation we have selected two columns together, and based on this situation, in these two columns together, the highest number is 10,000. Okay, so it's all very it is very important that it's it is also depend on the selection of your data and then applying the conditional formatting with respect to data vars. So if you do every column separately, the visualization will change. Or if you select all the columns together and apply the data bars, the visualization will get different. So you have to take care of it. So I hope you understood this concept. The seventh situation, which is again very interesting, we have a small PNL and we will be applying a conditional formatting on this statement. So first, let me create a logic here to get the percentage of one of the scenarios in which the company wants to see their P&L for the next 5 years as a forecast. So the company has made three situations based on best and worst, and they are forecasting that with 6% of the growth, they are on base. With 10% of growth, they are on best. When 1% of the growth of the next 5 years for the host. So we are required to create a logic here so that it could, whenever we select any situation from a drop down menu, that entire panel gets updated. And also we need to apply the conditional formatting so that particular entire scenario should gets highlighted as well. So let me do it. So first I will go to the developers tab, and from this developers tab I will click on insert, and from form controls I will select the combo box and I will draw it on my sheet. Next, the uh, next part would be to definitely fill this drop down menu and connect this menu with the site. So I will just right click from this contextual menu and I will go to format controls. The first field in the control tab is the input range. So I will select the name of the scenarios which the company has developed based on best and worst. The second option is off selling. So I will connect my this combo box with this particular cell which is C5 and I will press OK. So now you can see that whatever I select any case from this drop down list, the number is generated here. And based on this, I will apply a function here so that I can get that particular situation percentage on my yellow highlighted row. So I am using the choose function here. So the first function argument is of index number, where we are required to give a positive number, and then we are required to select the values according to the situation. So the first situation is D6, second situation is D7, and the third is then D8. So what this function will do? Definitely, whatever the situation we will select from this drop-down menu will produce a number in a cell. And according to that number, this number, if for example, if there is a 2 in C5, so it will select D7. If there is 3 in C5, it will select the sequence Y values. So let me just copy and paste this function to the right side. And now you can see that whatever the situation I select, the percentages are changing, right? And my PNL amount are also changing. So this is not dynamic and working fine. What we are required here is still in this report is the conditional formatting. We are required to highlight that particular condition which is applied on the PNL so that we can focus more. So how to do it? So now I will take help of this extra cell and I will write one for the first situation which is the base, 2 for the second situation which is the base entry, for the third situation which is the worst. Okay. And now I will select all these three situations. I will go to the conditional formatting and I will click on new rule and we will define a rule here. So we will select the last option and a very simple logic will be created here. If C5 is equal to, for example, this particular first cell, first situation cell, so whatever we are applying here, the color we are applying here should get highlighted. Okay. So now if I just drag and drop the drop down menu in front of that cell, and whenever I select any situation here, so now you can see that the particular situation gets highlighted, right? The last thing would be that you want that these three numbers should not be visible on the report. So a very quick technique to hide these numbers is to select these numbers. Right click, go to format cells and go to the number tab and click on custom and then type 3 times semicolon. So it will make an invisible. Okay. And now your report is ready. It's also get highlighted. It's also get updated. Okay, let's move towards the last situation of the conditional formatting scenario. Now, this is the last situation. In this situation, we will learn that how to control the numbers formatting with the help of conditional formatting. So, for example, you can see months from January to December, and these are sales number particularly and indefinitely in millions, right? but we want to format these numbers in more readable way. So we are required to create a sort of interface where we have some buttons here. So when I click on millions, these numbers automatically convert into millions, not as full figures. So when I click on thousands, these amounts should get updated as 1000 automatically, right? So how to do the number formatting within the conditional formatting? So let me just perform this. I will go to the developer tab and I will click on insert, and this time I will take option button in the form controls and I will simply draw it on my spreadsheet. Wherever you would like to draw it, you can draw. And I would like to have a two buttons here. One for the thousands. When I click on thousands, the number should format themselves as a 1000s category, and once for the millions to rename the option button. It is very simple. Definitely right click and then select the option which is edit text. So I have written here rupees in millions. You can write in short ways as well, or anything you would like to. Or if your currency is not in rupees, in any other currency, either in dollars or anything, you can write that. So rupees in millions, and then here we will write rupees and thousands. And we are also required to link this option button with the blank cell as well, so that we can create a logic here. So I will right click on this option button, and from this contextual menu I will go to formats control. Okay, and here I have a category of field that is called cell. So I will select any blank cell and I will press putty. So whenever I click on this first option button, which is rupees and thousand, the cell generates one. When I click rupees in millions, the cell generates 2. Now, based on this logic, I will definitely transform these full numbers into this specific category with the help of conditional formatting. So let's get started. Now, the next step would be selecting the entire sales column and go to conditional formatting and click on new row. And you will say that equals to, if this cell is equal to 1, F5 cell is equals to 1. When it will be 1, when I click on the rupees in thousands, so whenever I will click on rupees and thousand, the cell will generate 1. So I am saying to the Excel conditional formatting is F5 is equals to 1, then go to the format number for my custom, and here I can definitely give a custom formatting for these full numbers. So what I need is hashtag means any number. Hashtag means any number. Either it is small numbers or the large numbers or any positive numbers, negative numbers. But technically, if you know the custom formatting rules, you know that here is specifically in the custom area, you have 4 sections. First for the positive numbers, then for the negative numbers, then 0, and then general text. So hashtag means any number available in the cell. Comma again, hashtag for the comma formatting, and then I will use comma one more time for the 1000 separator. Okay, so the last comma which you are seeing here is working as a 1000 separator, so it eliminates last 3 digit from a number. So that's the required format which we are required to get, and I will press OK. So when I click on rupees in thousands, now you can see that your all numbers have got transformed into thousands category. And similarly, again, I will select this column and I will now generate a logic for the rupees in millions as well. So I will again go to conditional formatting, and from here I will create a new row. Now here I will again say that F5 is equals to 2. Now again, this is for the millions. So whenever I will click on this second option in the button rupees in millions, the cell will generate 2. So if F5 is equals to 2, I will go to the format number custom, and here hashtag means any number, and then I will use 1000 separator that will eliminate the last three digits. I will again use one more 1000 separator that will again eliminate its last three digits. And I also want, because I will be transforming all those sage number into millions. So I need to see in decimals as well for after two digit of decimals. So I will write dot zero zero here. Okay. And I will press OK. So now you can see that whenever I click on rupees and millions, all the sales number are in millions. So I can tell my boss that in March we have done 9.19 million sales. And if we ask in rupees and thousands, I will just click on rupees in thousands, and he can see all the amounts in rupees and thousands. So you can create more than two categories as well, depending on your situation. We have also observed that in industries now you have some of the amounts rupees in trillions as well. So, but in this video, in this series, you have learned that how to transform the full numbers into the customized number formats with the help of conditional formatting. So far, we have started as today's video with the 8 different situations, starting from top 4 salesperson, then above average salesperson, color scales. I can I can set example to. Then we have discussed data bars, and then we have applied conditional formatting in one of these statements. And last but not the least, converting the numbers into customized formats. Thank you.